a live vibe coding workflow. I built this sine wave 3D controller. You can increase the number of waves that you like. You can go to an isometric camera view if you like. You want to do a top-down view, you can see it. You can do a side view, a front view, and all of these you can modify. So if we go back to that isometric view, we can rotate the y-axis, so you kind of like rotate around the subject. We also can kind of rotate along the x-axis. And what's so cool is that I also built these presets. So I click on this button, and you can get whole new presets that were not really there before, and you can just try out different things. So if you want to customize any of these settings, we also have the global time scale. So if you increase this, the waveforms will go faster or they'll go slower, and you have that you have that creative control. We also have the zoom function if you want to zoom into your sine wave or zoom out. Additionally, you can go in and add a new wave if you want. Click on Add New Wave, and you can kind of create different variations. We can also play with the frequency of my waves. And again, you can go back up to those camera controls. And so all of this was essentially built using a technique called vibe coding. And I used an app called Claude to vibe code. Now, vibe coding is kind of the third, we're in like the third iteration of software. The first generation was just writing code manually, typing in the command prompt. The second wave of software was neural networks, training neural networks and getting those weights and those parameters and getting that bias. We're now in software 3.0, which is where you essentially can prompt these machines. And given that they have such a deep understanding of both code and their weights and biases, when you prompt, you're essentially creating like a temporary app. You're fine tuning that neural interface. You're going into the command line. I'm trying to remember what the word was, but there's essentially like prompt engineering, or coming up with a prompt and then having that become a thing is very much equated to creating a programmable neural network. And once you have a programmable neural network, you can now use your own human language. In my case, I use English to code this app and build really nice functionality. And so I'm going to show you, we're going to build one of these again from scratch, and you'll see how I do this. And I wanted to live stream that process. We are also simultaneously live streaming to YouTube, LinkedIn, I think, and Instagram. So let's see how this goes. It says I got +2 here. I don't know what the +2 means. Oh, is that viewers on the, I don't know. I'm not sure how I'm streaming. Let me just double check that the stream is working out okay. I don't know what buttons to press to preview. Oh yeah, you can preview this button. Let me just go ahead and preview YouTube real quick, make sure that's working. Yeah, preview YouTube is working great. Let's go to the other one. Let me make sure I can preview the Instagram. Awesome. LinkedIn is doing its thing. Okay. Cool. Looks like all of this is functioning properly. And let me just double check on my phone that the live stream's working, and then we'll get right to it. Let me just jump into Instagram and check this out. Are we live streaming, please? Don't see the stream on my end. I might have screwed up the code. I want to make sure I'm streaming to Instagram before I get much further. So sorry about the wait. I just need to ensure that I'm streaming properly. So I'm just going to log into Instagram real quick on my other screen and make sure that the stream is running. Are we live or are we not? It looks like we are not live on Instagram. Not sure what that's about. Let me try that again. So let's create live video. Vibe code apps. And we'll go to the public and hit next. All right, let me see if this one works here in Riverside. I'm going to end the live stream because it looks like my live stream is not going live to Instagram, and that is the main spot I needed to stream at. So I'm going to go ahead and end the stream, but hopefully this all worked testing-wise, and we'll get started again shortly. Sorry for the errors. All right, let's go ahead and hit stop. Thanks for watching Creativity with Don Allen Third Live. We'll get back to vibe coding in a little bit.